It's 4 a.m. and the car park of a local football stadium is already full. People are waiting. And every few minutes, another car comes through the gates.
Stove right down here in front of that white car you parked anywhere over here.
How long have you been waiting out here?
I got here about 2:30 this morning.
2:30. How far have you come from?
107 miles approximately.
Yeah. Oh, that's a long drive.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
What time did you get here?
About 5:30.
5:30. Why'd you have to get here so early?
To get a number.
Get a number for what? An all-night lottery draw? A young mother gives us a clue about what's going on. It just seems like you're out here, it's freezing cold, you've got a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you here at this time of day?
Because I have no health insurance.
What's the problem?
Can't afford health insurance.
Yeah. We'd found ourselves in rural Kentucky with a growing crowd of people here in the middle of the night, all because they'd heard they could get free health care. It's just gone 6 o'clock in the morning. The temperatures here are sub-zero, and there were already several hundred people standing here. Many of them have spent the night in their cars. What this shows is how far some Americans have to go just to see a doctor.
Number 1. Number 2.
A third world charity had set up shop here.
Number 4.
4, 5, 6, and 7.
4, 5, 6, and 7. The whole family. Look at that.
People were flooding out of their cars with everything from toothaches to cancer.
Number 10.
Some of them hadn't seen a doctor or dentist in years. Why? Because America has a private healthcare system and doctors cost money.
Do they do mammograms? I'm not sure. I'll put it on here and then they'll tell you when they get in there.
23,000 Americans a year die for lack of basic health care. When you see this, you understand why.
Okay, we've got 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Who's got number 48? 49.
Stan Brock, originally from Britain, set up this charity to help people in the Amazon jungle. But it does most of its work here now.
We discovered, wow, there are people here that need help just as much as they do in Guatemala and the Amazon and all these other places we go to. So now 60% of what we do is right here in the United States. The need is enormous.
And all this in a country where you can get the best health care in the world, if only you have money. Barack Obama has stirred America up into a frenzy of emotion with his message that America is a profoundly unequal place. He says what it needs, of course, is change.
This victory alone is not the change we seek. It is only the chance for us to make that change. And that cannot happen if we go back to the way things were. It can't happen without you.
Obama wants to change a country that's become more polarized than it's been in almost a century. Divided between an exploding class called the super rich and another class made up of millions, the new poor. Steve Bowen lives in a trailer park in Detroit, Michigan. He used to be a lead airport mechanic earning $22,000 a year. He lived in a 3-bedroom house. Now he raises funds for the Salvation Army for $7 an hour.
Oh, good job. Thank you.
I've been turned down at McDonald's. I've been turned down at Wendy's, fast food joints.
With this one, car insurance has to be paid.
Steve and his wife Debbie now worry about bills and even absolute basics.
Car insurance.
I have to make you go without eating.
You're not going to make me go without eating. You will, I won't.
Steve wasn't joking about not eating.
You're here for food today?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Bowens couldn't manage now without food handouts. 1 in 8 people in Michigan are in the same boat, an all-time record. It's people like Debbie and Steve that need Obama to deliver on his promises the most.
I know we're not the only people like this, you know? Working these little jobs that I'm trying to keep. And once again, this one ends on the 24th of this month. And We don't know what we're going to do after that, because there won't be any income.
Detroit today looks more like Angola than America. So much for the glamour of the car industry. 37 million Americans are already below the poverty line. The economic meltdown means 10 million more will soon join them. And with the housing crisis, there's astonishing evidence of how worthless parts of Detroit have become.
What can you buy for $1 in America today? A daily newspaper? A bottle of Coke? A packet of crisps? Or a house? Yes, a few months ago, this house sold for just $1. Okay, it's in a bit of a state, but that's less than a pound.
But 1,600 miles away in Jackson, Wyoming, you could honestly be in a different country. Not just the rich, but the extraordinarily rich flock here, and they've never had it so good. Not since the 1920s has so much of America's wealth been in the hands of so few.
This place is a far cry from Michigan. A home for $1 here? I don't think so. Take a look at this. $7 million for a family home. And wait, here's another one. $7 million again. What do you get? 6 bedrooms, a butler's pantry, and even your own theater.
Good morning, Freeze Associates. This is Liz.
And meet one of America's 7 million millionaires, Foster Freese. Or, I should say, multimillionaire. He has a rather splendid office for the 12 people who work here.
My wife was responsible for. I gave her unlimited budgets, which she exceeded, so I hope she did a good job. Probably over $1 million, I'm sure.
Foster is definitely not an Obama supporter. He's a contributor to Republican causes and goes to George Bush's Christmas parties.
Photo, it's Lynn and I with Laura and George Bush at the White House, and it really gives us an opportunity to see the man as a human being, how kind he is and loving, and the relationship they have.
In spite of all that's happened in recent months, Foster believes the staggering wealth gap is a sign the American dream is alive and kicking.
Rich people buy things, and the greatest ministry we can have is to provide employment and to buy people's products. If you have an expensive pair of boots and I'd like to buy a pair for my wife, who benefits? The person who made the boots. My wife puts them in the shelf. She's got 10 others next to it and doesn't wear them but once in a while. So it's the wealthy people that we want to create. We want to create wealth, not figure out how we redistribute it.
But Barack Obama's stirring message is that America's system is broken. That the unchecked pursuit of wealth has left millions without medical cover. That healthcare is America's biggest social divider and a stain on its conscience.
Now is the time to finally keep the promise of affordable, accessible health care for every single American. If you have health care, my plan will lower your premiums. If you don't, you'll be able to get the same kind of coverage that members of Congress give themselves.
Back in Kentucky, the doors have been open for 3 hours. Elizabeth Bush has diabetes.
Your blood pressure's up a little. We're going to have to let you sit and rest. And, like I say, it could be from waiting in line. Have you been waiting long?
She can't afford health insurance and has had to pay for major surgery herself.
So are you in debt?
Yeah.
How much?
About $70,000.
$70,000?
Health insurance is expensive. On average, it costs $12,000 a year per family. These are some of the 45 million Americans who have no cover at all. Obama is not proposing an NHS-style system for America. He wants to make insurance cheaper and accessible to everyone. And he wants to force insurance companies to behave ethically. Mention insurance companies here, and you touch a raw nerve.
I think they're ripping people off. I think that they are making money in their pockets. They are paying their employees a whole bunch of money to sucker the working, poor, working class, half of the middle class, out of what they have.